Okay, let's check we're on 40. Oh, hang on. I've gone to 49 area now, so might be different. Sorry, did I swing that tooth? And oh, there's something in there. Is that a duck making waves? Yes, it is. He thinks he's being chased. Okay. Yeah, maybe we should get to the other side. I don't know. See if we can. Whoa! There you go. Duck incoming, or outgoing. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, all this sort of things on the side of banks and things like that. It reminds me of the Lost World movie when they had the sort of pseudo-carnivorous plants, sort of the way they were sitting sort of slightly down in the soil sort of thing. Just languishing, I think is the word, languishing on the banks and just ready to catch that meal sort of thing. I do remember the old Tree Gold and Bentley, I think, the book. It's one of my favourite ones. I still think that is the archetypal type for, you know, young fella CPers sort of thing. You want something that, basically I liked it because it showed an ecological setting of the plants. It wasn't just, you know, I want to know what grows next to it, near it, sort of thing. How does it grow? Is it just wet in this patch? Does it dry off in the distance? Blah blah blah. Is a creek line flowing somewhere in the distance? You know, they got their feet, their roots sitting in permanent water. You know, at least from. Of course, you know, most of the photographs were black and white in the day. Apart from some in Botanica sort of thing. So yeah, but I still think we're up against the fact we just have picture books. No one actually has a definitive, you know, set and forget. This is why they grow, where they grow, when they grow, sort of, etc. mentality. And that's in the wild, and knowing the knowledge in the wild, we can do better. We can do it better in cultivation. These plants fit into this sort of group of plants. We can tweak it. We can make it better. Blah de blah de blah. You know. But at the moment, we're at the stage of, you know, they're non-mycorrhizal, and yet all the knowledge is saying they should be mycorrhizal. You know, 98% of all the plant families are mycorrhizal, so therefore why should these be any different? You know, sort of thing. Yeah. It's sort of this thing, they're eating the insects because they're deficient in nitrogen, and we're saying, well, they should be yellow then, shouldn't they? You know, apart from things like Sericina flava, which is yellow, you know. They should be pale and struggling and all that thing, and then you think, okay, and they're not. Of course, then the argument is, well, then they're not pale and struggling because they're eating the insects. But then you say, well, then the plants around them that can't eat insects, and this is the salient argument, the plants around them which are non-carnivorous are not eating the insects. They should be pale, but they're not. You know, you've got green as far as the eye can see. But of course, then they run the argument, oh, but they're mycorrhizal and CPs are not. And I'm saying, well, are you sure? Because by your other argument, 98%, the only families that aren't mycorrhizal are the ones that purposely, like the mustard family and one other one, put out organics into the soil to get rid of the mycorrhizae. So in other words, if they didn't do that, they would be mycorrhizal, basically. So do CPs put out these chemicals? And of course, basically come back with, well, no, because we would know about it, surely. They would say CPs are non-mycorrhizal because they like mustards or something like that. But no, they haven't said that yet. So maybe they are, because they haven't really mentioned it. Or they haven't mentioned the connection between these chemicals and the relationships to the mustard family. I don't know, but it seems highly unlikely. You know, as I said, we're looking from a statistical point of view, it's 2% outside the tails of the bell-shaped curve. So you're actually asking us to believe something that statistically is impossible. You know, isn't 2% outside the tails of the bell-shaped curve? So you're asking us to believe something that statistically is impossible. It's not by chance alone. In other words, what it's saying is we should be going looking for chemicals that are actually suppressing mycorrhizae in the soil, because the statistic 2% is telling us there must be something else that's making them non-mycorrhizal. Do you get the logic there? I don't know. I don't know if you put any faith in statistics, but what did Disraeli say? The only Jewish English Prime Minister, there's lies, damn lies, and then there's statistics. A bit like the MSM or the lamestream media in America. Oh, geez. We've got some sites up now on YouTube where they have multiple channels. You can't do that, but they're doing it. There's someone with a name and they've got multiple channels and they're just running this thing like 24/7, all this. But I'm enamored by the creativity. That's what's really impressive about these devious people. They're very creative. I know they just have a whole team, and some other ones you see them, they got some very odd grammatical inconsistencies, bad grammar and things like that, and we think, are they doing that to catch your attention, or are they doing that because they're in some sweat hole somewhere in the other side of the world doing all this, inventing all this rubbish sort of thing, and getting peanuts for doing it because we're in some shithole on the other side of the world, thinking they're going to redeem them somehow as by taking down the American president, using verbiage or something. But you don't think he's going to remember that? You don't think we're going to remember that? And we don't think we're not going to remember the name of that person's, well, what was her name? It's not Erin, it was something Eriksson. It was some Weiner Eriksson. Look up Weiner Eriksson and look at how many channels this supposed Weiner Eriksson. Is it because she's being very venal? I don't know, but anyway. Yeah, interesting. Anyway, we've got more liverworts down here. Notice the colour of the soil. It's not orange, iron orange. It's sort of this sort of grey browny sort of colour. And we've got more CP related weeds and plantains and things that are growing on the side, but no CPs. So we got the liverworts, we got the CP related weeds, but we got no CPs. So we're out by 1/3, are we? We want the liverworts, the CP related weeds and the CPs growing together. Or is that the thing? In the wild you can only get CP related weeds and CPs growing together. You can't have the liverworts with them as well. I don't know. That's what we've got to find out. But as I say, look at some of these sort of weeds. Look how big they can get. So they start off as seeds into seedling plants, and some of these ones can grow up and get to, Oh, I've got I'll start a new clip in a minute, but I've got a new copy of Darwin. I'll just start a new clip from here and talk about it, okay?